What up, y'all? This is Mink with MF Homeschool, and I just wanted to make a video about why I decided to homeschool my child. He's 10 years old, 6th grade. So I just thought I'd, share why I decided to do it. But before I do it, please make sure you guys subscribe, hit the bell so you can guys get notification anytime I put something up. I will be putting up a whole lot of videos of the journey that my child and I go through as far as his homeschooling is concerned. You might be able to get some ideas, spark from the things that you see from me. And I also would love it if you guys could comment and let me know some of you guys' reasons of why you guys decided to or not to homeschool your child, because it can go both ways. So, let's get into it, man. Just real quick, we have been thinking about homeschooling. I'm going to just kind of start at the beginning a little bit. We have been thinking about homeschooling ever since my child was probably like kindergarten or something like that, because just when he was in school, we just realized that the work that had been done with him prior to him actually going to physical school had given him a huge boost in his education. So he would be super bored in class, and he just didn't really like it because he was like, oh, I got to wait for these other kids to stop yelling and this and that. And he's just kind of ready to get through his day, right? So he ended up skipping 1st grade. So he went straight to 2nd, and the schoolwork was still not really that hard for him. And so we were just really, we might want to put him in homeschooling. But it was kind of hard to do because of our jobs at the time. And I'll make another separate video about how we were able to shift our stuff, to be able to, do the stuff from home. So anyway, we were already wanting to get him out. So then COVID happened. So his school had to go to homeschool, to go to online schooling. But with that, he was meeting with the teacher, and, they were still giving him assignments and things. But that was like a really shaky situation because it wasn't a homeschool or an online school. It was a physical school. So that was like super shaky when that happened. So as that happened, my wife and I, our jobs kind of were able to get us in a situation where we were at home. Okay. After COVID, not over, but after they started letting kids back into school, we were going to send our son to school. And we were eating one time. I was looking across the table at this fool, and he was licking his fingers. He was looking like Pops and stuff on Friday, just from he was just one of those, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh, hell no. I am not sending him to school so he can bring me back COVID 41 and a half with a monkey on it. That ain't happening. So I was like, you know what? I don't think it's time, because we also had a newborn at the house at that time. I don't care what your thoughts are on COVID, if you think it's real or not. I wasn't doing it. Okay. So I was like, no, you staying here. Forget that. We need to figure out something for you to be in homeschool. So we started looking around. We did a homeschool thing called Methods. And I'll make a whole separate video for that because it might not even be in your area. So there's really no point in talking about it if it's not in your area. So anyway, we did a thing called Methods. Method was cool. It was cool, but it still wasn't the type of programming we wanted for our child. Because when you think about it, when you send your child off to school, you're allowing someone else to program your child to determine how they're going to be in their future as an adult. So when you're leaving that responsibility to someone else, that's a shaky, rocky area right there. You know what I'm saying? You probably don't have the same values that I have. The school probably does not have the same values that you have. What you want for your child, that school does not want. I remember when we were trying to get my child to be skipped, the principal, she made a comment to me and said, well, I just wouldn't feel comfortable sending him ahead knowing that, it could affect his maturity. And I was like, well, with all due respect, I don't care about your comfort. This is my child's life. So I'm not basing my child's life off of his principal's comfort level. That doesn't make sense. This is my child. When he's gone from here, you'll have nothing to do with him. You're not putting anything on his back. You're not putting no food on his table. So your comfort level is not even a level of discussion for what we're talking about here, right? And so those are the type of things where I realize that the school doesn't have the real interest of your child. You have to know what the emotion is of that teacher that is teaching your child. You don't even get to pick the teacher for the person that's going to be programming your child. So that was a huge thing to me. And then you also have to realize the other kids that's around there. You don't know what those parents are teaching those children. And now that stuff can be coming and poisoning your child. And I know a lot of people will think, oh, well, you can't shelter your child. Well, you also just can't expose them to bullshit. You know what I mean? You got to be mindful of what you expose them to. And just because you've known the tradition of sending your child to school, there are plenty of people who went to school who are in prison, who have become murderers, who have become mass shooters, who can't find a job for the life of them, that are homeless. So let's not act like going to a school is the key to being somebody in life. You know what I'm saying? That's not the key. We know this. So as far as I'm concerned, we might as well just have our child at home with us so we could be programming him with the things that we want him to know and what we want him to understand. And so that was a very huge thing for us. You know what I mean? And so we put him on there, and now we're able to make a curriculum. So now, like, he's in 6th grade, we're not doing any homeschool programs. It's strictly on me to build his education and build an educational curriculum for him to make sure that he succeeds when he gets older, you know? And so that's what we've done. I've made a curriculum that is catered to my child. And I know it's challenging. The point isn't for it to be easy, but the point also isn't to see if I can trick you on the test. You know, like we're getting away from those type of things, and we're getting to real life. Like, you know what? You need to learn how to be resourceful. How is it that schools don't have a class about how to be resourceful? You need to be resourceful because you need to know how to find information that you don't know. The goal isn't to hold as much information in your head as possible. In my world, the goal is to be able to find whatever information you need to get a task done. Plain and simple. There will be some things that you want to, you know, that you'll become super smart at, and that's what you continue to drill yourself in. It's okay to have hobby education where it's something that you just love to do. That's totally fine. It could even turn into a career. But I don't feel the goal is to flood your head with every war, every general, every president. Like, that's not the goal. I know my child will never walk up to me and say, "Father, I think I want to be a historian." That's just not going to happen. So I'm not going to go crazy on the history. I'm going to go crazy on the science because the science is something that he really loves. So now I can focus on something that he actually really cares about, and then I can give him other information, but the main core of what he's doing is going to be stuff that he's interested in. So, you know, I just think that it's important to have your child with you and to be able to spend that time with your child and to be responsible for who your child becomes. I know it's a really good fallback to be able to say, "Oh, well, the school system is this. The schools don't teach them this. The schools don't this." Well, I challenge you to say, what the hell are you teaching them, right? So you're the one who laid in that bed and decided to have a child. And if you didn't, still, you the one that was in that bed and had that child. So at the end of the day, the responsibility still falls on the parent, not the school system, not the city, not the government. It is the parent, because you're the one who decided to recreate and have a child. So to me, I think that responsibility really falls on us, and we need to really have a wake-up call with ourselves and think, are we sending our child to schools because of the tradition, or do we actually really 100% understand the value? And what is it about that school that's adding more value than what you as a parent could be adding to your child? So that's what my wife and I have challenged ourselves on. And we're like, you know what? We're going to take responsibility for our children's education. So we have a 10-year-old and a 2-year-old. So that responsibility is ours and no one else's. Everybody has different opinions. Everybody has different lives, and that's totally fine. But if you're here watching this video, you're probably thinking the same way I'm thinking, of wanting to have that child with you, or else why would you be watching this video, right? So I'm not talking to the people who don't want to homeschool. I'm talking to the people who do, to give you the encouragement to go on and move forward and put your child in homeschool. And I'm telling you, you will enjoy it. It will teach you how to work with your child, and you will get to know your child even more. You think about these things that happen with these kids that go to school and they say, "I never saw any signs of that in my child." Well, you know why? That's because you're not with your child all day. So that hour in the morning that you have to get them dressed, and that 3 or 4 hours after school that you use to have them do homework and, you know, make some food and get them fed, get them cleaned up. They probably also playing video games. I could imagine you not seeing those signs because you weren't with your child. And when you send your child to public schools, for some of the children, they have to be fake. They have to act like they like things that they don't. They have to act like they have material possessions that they don't. So they become very good at hiding the true them. And so when they come home, that is leaking into the home where they are not showing the true them with you as a parent, because you programmed them, or you sent them to a place to be programmed to hide the real them. So when you're at home, you get to actually see the real child that you have, like who they really are. You know what I mean? So I just say, don't run from it. If this is something that you're thinking about doing, go on and do it. It might not be super easy when you first start, but that's fine. It will become better and better and better as you continue to go. So anyway, that's this video. Make sure you guys stick around. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell and put it on all notifications so you get a notification anytime I post anything, because I got a lot of stuff that I'm going to be bringing on this channel to have fun with you guys and show you guys different things and maybe spark ideas for you guys, man. So anyway, this is Mink with MF Homeschool. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Y'all be good. Peace.